Page 77. The Origin of Cheating and Divorce. A Reflection. Woman, the ultimate divine creation, the most sublime and perfect among all creatures, paradoxically, was the first to carry out the action we know as treason. In this chapter, we explore the complex issue of betrayal, its origin, its different types, the repercussions it causes, and strategies to prevent it. Treason is essentially the breach of loyalty, the rupture of trust, and the principles of an agreement established between two parties or institutions. However, when we look at biblical history, more specifically the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1 to 6, we find a remarkable account in which the first woman, Eve, committed what can be considered humanity's first act of betrayal. It is worth clarifying that, although this betrayal was not physical in nature, its effects continue to this day. Even if betrayal has manifested itself through verbal communication, the consequences are undeniably devastating, reinforcing the idea that a single act of betrayal, no matter how small it may seem, can provoke instability and, often, cause irreversible damage. Eve, Adam's companion, had full knowledge of the principles that should be observed so that life on earth was free from suffering and immortal. However, she succumbed to the serpent's temptation and seduction, giving in to uncontrollable impulses and allowing harmful information to be insinuated into her subconscious. The tragic outcome of this was its influence on Adam, who also gave in to the same temptation. As a result, these actions triggered social and planetary imbalances that affect our current reality. Analyzing the story, we can understand that Eve had no intention of cheating on her husband. However, the fact of having engaged in a long conversation with another being is considered, in itself, an act of betrayal, since the ears are portals to feelings. We are often mistaken in considering that only the genitals are the gateway to emotional involvement. Today, modern technology such as mobile devices has proven that the ears, being one of the five senses, are also gateways to human gratification. In this context, we cannot rule out that Eve's betrayal was triggered by the serpent's persuasive words, which exploited this sensory channel to its advantage. Eva's story leads us to reflect on the complex nature of betrayal, demonstrating that it is often rooted in inadequate communication and a lack of self-control. By understanding the origins of betrayal, we can learn to identify it and avoid its pitfalls, protecting our relationships and ensuring a more harmonious future. Page 72. Cheating categories. Betrayal is a human manifestation that takes place through words, actions, and even silence. A. Betrayal by words. A notorious example of this is the case of Eva, mentioned previously. When a person, whether a woman or a man, pays attention to the words of someone who utters or teaches something contrary to their partner's wishes, this act can be considered a moral betrayal through verbal communication. B. Betrayal by action. This type of betrayal occurs when one of the spouses becomes physically involved with someone other than their partner. Regardless of the nature of the actions, maintaining physical contact with another person without the partner's consent is characterized as betrayal. It is important to highlight that betrayal through actions can begin virtually and eventually materialize physically. C. Betrayal by silence. Betrayal by silence manifests itself when we omit information about someone who tried to get intimate with us, without sharing this incident with our partner. This omission creates a situation in which the person in question may continue to attempt involvement, often without our partner's knowledge. This behavior is also considered cheating, as it compromises the loyalty and transparency necessary in a relationship. Therefore, these three types of betrayal are practiced by many people in different contexts. Unfortunately, in our society, the act of sexual involvement with another person is often considered the most relevant form of betrayal. However, it is important to understand that sexual betrayal is usually preceded by a series of verbal betrayals and then omissions of information that perpetuate the cycle of disloyalty. Recognizing the complexity of cheating in all its forms helps us understand the need for open communication, respect, and trust in our relationships to prevent these harmful acts. Page 74. Consequences of betrayal. Betrayal, an action that occurs in spiritual, moral, and physical spheres, brings with it consequences that can be short, medium, or long-term. Spiritual consequences. Cheating can attract negative energy into the couple's life. When someone we are involved with is under oppression, obsession, or spiritual possession, we are equally affected by these influences. This can be compared to transmitting a virus during physical contact or close proximity to another person. Moral consequences. Physical contact with other people can negatively affect our relationships. When we become involved with others who are not our partners, the pleasure we feel for our partner may decrease. This phenomenon is especially pronounced in the case of women, who often face guilt and remorse after an act of betrayal. This can lead to divorces, causing suffering and fear regarding discovery by the partner. Physical consequences. Cheating can trigger a series of physical consequences. Firstly, sexually transmitted diseases pose a threat to health. Furthermore, the possibility of an unwanted pregnancy, which often interferes with life goals, must be considered. Losses of material goods after a separation are also a reality to be faced. Causes of betrayal. Before addressing cheating prevention, it is essential to understand its true causes. Human error often lies in the mistaken belief that it can resist external influences, something we can observe in the book of Genesis, chapter 3. The biblical account presents Eve as a highly spiritual creature, formed directly by the hands of the Creator, representing the essence of perfection. However, even with these attributes, she succumbed to the serpent's temptation, losing her mantle of glory, her divine comfort, and the possibility of living eternally happy and immortal. How to avoid cheating. It is essential, especially for women, to understand that resisting the harmful influences of other people for a long time is an arduous task. According to the popular saying, soft water hits a hard stone until it pierces. However, both men and women need to develop the ability to diagnose and deal with negative influences on their partners' minds. Instead of immediately resorting to polygamy or divorce when they notice changes in their partner's behavior, it is crucial to open a dialogue and seek to understand which externally influenced words are affecting the relationship. As exemplified in the book of Genesis, where Adam and God spoke to Eve daily, it is essential to maintain communication, respect, and connection with your partner to avoid betrayal. Women also need to be careful with the influence of other people's words, as excess false information in their minds can lead them to believe these words and manifest harmful behaviors towards their partners. Avoiding listening to the words of people who are not our partners for a long time can be an effective strategy for maintaining peace and harmony in a relationship. Therefore, we conclude that cheating prevention is strongly linked to the ability to identify and deal with negative external influences on our partner's mind. This skill is essential for maintaining healthy relationships and avoiding the cycle of betrayal that can have destructive consequences. Remember that the serpent wants to steal, destroy, and kill, and it is each of us' responsibility to protect our relationships from this poison.